Hi, I'm Jorge,
I'm Carlos.
and we're here in Hipster TV in the battlefield of White Mountain Battle.
Today, there's people actually recreating the scene of what happened years ago.
We can actually see how it happened. They're shooting the other team. Here in Czech Republic, doesn't have a big diversity of physical characteristics, but it's very rich in culture and history. Certain incidents have happened which has made them who it is, what it is nowadays. What is now the Czech Republic one was a part of the Czech and Slovak Federal Republic. The Czechs, Moravians, and Slovaks were one nation for 75 years. On 1993, both republics split and created two independent countries. Putting aside the difference of the cultures, both Slovaks and Czechs had the same aspirations for independence from the Habsburg. These two lost their independence at the Battle of White Mountain in 1620, and they were ruled for the Austrian monarchy for 300 years. Czechoslovakia was one of the only East European country that actually remained a parliamentary democracy from 1918 to 1983. Behind this, there was a lot of small problems, but the biggest problem was the big quantity of German immigrators.
Okay, so now in that type of government, oh my god, like seriously, they have like a parliamentary republic. Like this means that they have a system with no clear-cut separation of powers, like between the executive and like legislative branches. Okay, so wow, like, are you serious? Are you kidding me? Like, the Czech Republic independence was established in like January 1st of like 1993. You know, like that wasn't so long ago. Oh my god, so like like they have a president, like he runs the country, and like the people like actually have elections, like which means that they can like actually have a say on like what is going on in like the government.
Ugh, like, oh my god, like in the physical characteristics, Czech Republic doesn't really have much. They're like, on the west side, it consists of the Elbe and the Moldau River. These two are like surrounded mostly by low mountains, such as the Krosnik and range of the Sulit. And like the highest peak of this country is located in this side. It is the Seznak with 1,602 meters. Like seriously, it's nothing. Like in the its side is also surrounded by the hills and like the Morava rivers. The Morava River drains it. It also contains the Oder River. These different rivers flow to like the North Sea, the Baltic Sea, and like the Black Sea. It's so lame. Like the Czech Republic has a temperate continental climate. And like, no, para. Oh my god, so Czech Republic has a temperate continental climate. Oh my god, yes, like seriously, yes. Like with relatively hot summers and like cold and cloudy winters, like snowy too. Like there's a big difference, like huge difference between like the temperate and like the temperature between summer and winter. It's like humongous. Like the coldest month of the year in like Czech Republic is like January, February, and December. Like seriously, like super freaking cold. Like throughout this month, snow is usually like found in like mountains and occasionally in like major cities and like lowlands. Like during March, April, and May, the temperature changes quickly. Like high water levels in the rivers also characterize the spring. Like during summer, there is a lot of rain and storms, while in autumn it's like warm and dry. And, like, yeah.
Czech Republic is a country with like very rich culture and history. They do not have the biggest diversity of physical characteristics, but they have beautiful landscapes. Plus, drastic changes in temperature accompanies these landscapes, which makes it even more beautiful. Certain conflicts give Czech the history that they have nowadays, like makes them who they are and like what they are as a country. And this is my part for the Czech Republic special today in Hipster TV.
in our next section, we're gonna be talking about how Czech Republic is seen as a country from the outside. How people actually see Czech Republic. These last few years, the Czech Republic has been really interested in creating an image for themselves as an politically, economically, and socially stable country here. It has been also trying to work for a better development of a better Central Europe and the world in all kind of matters like politically, economy, and especially in the environment matter, because it's been hard the last few years. Czech Republic also faces some disadvantage in some fields, and the biggest one is probably having a small-sized country and a big population. They do have a lack of natural resources, but they have some good resources like iron, some steel production, metalworking, chemical production, electronics. They're good in transportation also. So by working with these resources, they have been creating a more prosperous Czech Republic.
But not everything has been good these past few years. The Czech Republic has been facing some pollution problems, and now they're considered the biggest exporter of pollution to the neighbors and distant countries. Because of their deteriorated environment, people in both republics have poor health and a life expectancy of 3 to 6 years below the average of Europe. So even though the Czech Republic has done a lot of improvement in the economic side, they're having these pollutional problems, but they're working to make this better. They have created campaigns that are being used in the whole country to try to prevent this pollutional problem that they're facing.
Alright, and to end this section, I'm going to be talking about the 3 most interesting and famous places in Czech Republic. The first one has to be Prague, the capital of the country. It is full of history, and it's known for the famous and excellent post-medieval architecture that you can find, because it wasn't destroyed by the World War II and I bombs. So you can actually see most of the architecture, and it's intact. You can see it as it was years ago. My second place has to be the Charles Bridge, which is a really famous bridge in Prague. It was built in the 140s, and many people travel to squeeze across it together. It's pretty interesting and full of Czech Republic's history. Alright, and to end, my final place has to be one of the thousands of castles and ruins throughout the Czech Republic country. They're really well preserved, and it really gives you an idea of how culture and people were those days. They're really interesting because it shows you the ways of life and ways of thinking those days. That was it for today's special of Czech Republic. We hope you enjoyed it. That's Hipster TV for you.